podcast guest is Simran from India, and I'm so glad to meet you here. And today we're gonna do an expert podcast with you guys, and I'm so excited for that. And our expert is Simran from India, and today we're gonna talk about the major that is psychology, which is her major. I am so awesome. Okay, I have some questions for you, elementary questions about psychology. I did some research on that, but not exactly, but we can do it. So, yeah, first just tell me about yourself a little bit more to us.
Definitely. As you already know, my name is Simran and I am from India, Kolkata.
Mhm.
I have been practicing for 4 years as a therapist now,
Wow.
and I see individuals as well as couples with various issues and concerns. And apart from that, I have been writing content on mental health, blogs, articles, and also being guest on podcasts like yours to spread the awareness. Yes.
That was great. I really like that. Nice to meet you, Simran. I am Gulrookh from Uzbekistan, Central Asia, and I am the vlogger on YouTube, and I am the host of the podcast, and I also guest in podcasts. Also, I am a social media marketologist in Uzbekistan. We do some marketing stuffs here, and my major is engineering. Right now, I am a senior student at school, and inshallah next year we're gonna be a student in university. So yeah, here it is. Thank you. So let's
Thank
see
you.
what questions we have for you, and we're just gonna start it. Okay, tell me about the definition of psychology first to our students, to our audience who wants to study psychology. Yes.
Okay, so there's no as such definition, I would say, of psychology because it's related to your mind-body connection, the connection that you have with your mind and body, because both are important. If your mind gets affected, your body will get affected, and if your body gets affected, your mind will get affected. It's like, for example, if you have a fever, that's a body issue, that's a physical issue, but it breaks you down mentally also that you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like working. Similarly, if you have a mental concern, like say for example, you're feeling low, you feel stressed or anxious, it shows up in bodily symptoms also, like pain in the chest or heaviness, unable to breathe, feeling
Wow.
restless. So yeah, psychology is something, it's a science which is related to mind and body connection.
Wow. Wow. Looks really good. I really like that. Like it means that like it teaches about around like the some kind of body language or mind connected to something like that. You're right.
Yeah, it's behavior patterns. It's about how people act and react in different situations. Says a lot about how they were brought up, and a lot of other things are involved in psychology. It's a broad spectrum.
Wow, I like that. And one more question: how do psychologists study human behavior and mental processes, let's say?
Okay, of course, you need to be, have a degree first of all in psychology.
Like bachelor's
And
degree or associate degree, just like this?
master's degree is important too. It depends from country to country and from the education system and how they work. Here in India, it's if you have cleared your undergraduation and post graduation, you can work as a counseling psychologist, as a therapist. But of course, if you do higher studies, you work as a clinical psychologist, and it's different education completely for being a psychiatrist. So those are
Wow.
three different things.
Wow. Yeah, I got that. Okay. What are the main branches of psychology?
There are, I would say, three main: industrial psychology, sports psychology, and counseling psychology, clinical psychology. So there's also a
Wow, too
very
many
range.
things.
Style psychology.
What about yours? Which psychology section is yours? Your major?
I did my master's in clinical psychology.
Clinical psychology. What about the
Yes.
bachelor's?
I did bachelor's in human development. So I basically learned how individual is functioning in all aspects from birth till death.
Wow, that was great. I really like that. Um, how do emotions influence our behavior? What do you think?
Okay, emotions do influence our behavior, or you can say behaviors influence our emotion. It goes both ways. For example, if you are going out with your friends
Yeah,
and you didn't like a movie, or you went out for a movie which wasn't of your choice, but you still went because you just wanted to,
yeah.
hang out with your friends. So that's a behavior that you showed. But the emotion that would come up after seeing the movie, if it didn't turn out to be good, would be, oh, why did I come? I shouldn't have come. So that's the action you did for your friends, which affected your behavior and would
Mhm.
maybe affect your emotion internally. So it's action, behavior, and emotion.
Wow. And in some kind of ways, it's connected to the mindset, right? Also. Yeah.
I always say it's about perspective, how you think or feel. It could be completely different from someone else. So individual differences there. A person can perceive something in a particular situation, and your friend could be perceiving something else in the same situation. Say, for example, if I see a six from my end, from your end, it could be a nine. But none of us are wrong here. Both have our own perception because from where I am standing, I might see the number six, but from where you are standing, you might see it as a number nine.
I like that. Deep understanding. Wow. And what are the factors that contribute to personality development of psychology? What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah.
See, personality is again a broad term, a broad aspect of a person because personality develops from childhood,
Mhm.
from the traits that come in from the environment that you're brought up in, the people that you're brought up with, how they act, behave around you. So you'll see that if in a family there are two or three siblings, all of them have different personality traits. So
Mhm.
here again, perception comes in. Living in the same family, but they have different personalities. Now you would ask why so? Because they have the same situation, but the perception of the situation might be different.
Wow.
For example, you might like to be an introvert. You're an introvert. You like to be at home and just have a few close friends, but your sibling might have be a complete extrovert. You
Wow.
both are brought up
Yeah,
in the same family, same situations, but
that's true.
introversion and extroversion does happen.
Yes, because I have two siblings, two brothers, and we are totally separate. Like we are totally different. So I can say, yeah, it is true. Like we can live in same family, but our perspectives or our characters will be totally different. Yes,
Correct.
exactly. And what are some common mental health disorders and their symptoms? A little bit academic, but yeah,
Yeah, I would say that, the most common thing that I see in my clients today is stress, anxiety,
yeah.
relationship issues, communication issues, issues with their body image, self-esteem issues. So these are the common issues that I see with my clients. Of course, there are more. We can't term all of them here today, but anger issues are there. There's, lack of motivation,
Mhm.
procrastination,
Yeah.
work-life imbalance. So all of these are there, and they have all different symptoms. All of them have their own, triggers, causes. Say,
Mm.
for example, in relationship, there might be a situation that, there's lack in communication. There's one partner is assuming things and not trusting, trust issues, insecurities. All of these can come in. And like if we take depression, then feeling low, not being able to sleep at night due to overthinking. Even if you are getting up in the morning, you feel tired, exhausted. You just feel like lying on the bed and not getting out of bed. So these are few signs of depression if they are prolonged for more than 2 to 3 weeks, or proper symptoms are consistent for 6 months. You can classify the person or diagnose them as uh, depression, but of course, each disorder has its own criteria,
Mhm.
and we do follow the norms provided by ICD or DSM.
Wow. Yeah. And one more interesting question, and it's really necessary for me too, because let's say, how do psychologists help people with phobias or other fears? Because I am like I have some kind of phobia. Like I really afraid of dark place. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I really afraid locking some kind of in lifts. So yeah, it's really scary for phobia for me. Like I can't get over it. So give me some example or give me some kind of solve the issue.
See, for again, it depends on what your triggers are. It could be if you're afraid of dark spaces. It could be that, in your past experiences, there might have happened certain instances which have left a scar on your mind. Like when people are fearful of dogs, there are chances that maybe they were bitten by it, or maybe the barking of the dog makes them fearful. So, working with fears means first noticing the triggers, understanding where it started from, and then working from scratch, or from, I would say, working from the root cause of it. And when you say claustrophobia, so it's basically again understanding where the fear started from. Maybe first time they were in a lift and they just got stuck and couldn't come out and were alone. So that caused anxiety, and now that anxiety is causing fear to step into an elevator or a lift the next time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I got you. And what and one more question, it's about the motivation and what inspired you to pursue your current career or passion. What do you think? So it's about a little bit more life coaching or something like that.
What pushes me to be in the career is basically helping people out, helping them understand their behaviors and working towards it. Because at the end, right now, I feel a lot of people are overthinking and do not understand how to move forward, or do not understand their behaviors or their partner's behaviors. So I think my motivating factor is my client satisfaction. If they say that, oh, we are feeling good about it. There are so many people who just come to vent out because in today's time, nobody's there to hear you out, but they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to be heard and nobody wants to hear the other person.
Yeah.
So I will hear you out definitely. So you know where to reach out.
Wow, exactly. And what was your university that you studied in bachelor's degree?
It was an university from India itself. So it was in Calcutta in my hometown.
Uh-huh.
It's J.D. Birla Institute. And where I did my master's is again from India, but a different city. It's now known as National Forensic Sciences University. But
Uh-huh.
while I was doing, it was known as Gujarat Forensic Sciences University.
Wow. Awesome. And the lessons all teach in English, right?
Yes.
I like that. And what, again, question, let's say, what are some effective strategies for managing stress and anxiety in today's fast-paced world?
Correct. So there are so many people who get stressed over, oh, I'm getting late for office, or I'm getting late for school, or have an exam tomorrow. So rather than focusing on the stressor, focus on what you can do to resolve that. If you have an exam, then focus on studying rather than focusing on the outcome, whether I will pass or fail, what to do. I don't know, I haven't studied. Wasting time on thinking about what will happen next or what already has happened in the past will not give you any resolution. Rather, maybe take some time off. Think about how can you deal with that situation? How can you cope with that situation? Rational thinking is best in terms of stress or when you feel stuck.
Yeah, I got you. Yes. And let's say, can you discuss the impact of technology on mental health, including social media use or screen time and digital addiction?
Social media has played a role, of course, both positive and to some extent the other way around also. So when we say positive, people are more vocal about their issues. People are more aware. Social media has made it easier for people to reach out for help as well. It has made it easier to, virtual therapy for people to reach out from their own safe space, from their own room, and be anonymous at the same time and not visit the clinic and show their face if they don't want to. So, all these are benefits of social media where people are trying to understand mental health, are trying to speak about it, trying to be vocal about it. At the same time, it is, why do I say it is it has, different outcomes as well, consequences as well, because while we are scrolling reels or while we are seeing even stories of our friends, they are achieving something, they are reaching somewhere. So we do feel that, oh, she's done so much, where am I? So that thought process of yours is maybe coming through what you're seeing on Instagram or on other social media platforms. That, rather, I would say take it as a positive thing. She or the other person can do it, then so can I. I will take it as a motivating factor rather than why can't I do this?
Yeah, I got you. And one more question, last question. How do you stay motivated and continue to grow in your career and area of interest?
Since this was something that I wanted to pursue for a long period of time out of curiosity, that, why a person reacts in such a way, or what, or how, or what's the reason behind the behavior, is something that keeps me motivating. And as I said, my client satisfaction, their feedback keeps me motivated. And of course, there's some sort of burnout that I might also face. But for that, I know where to draw the line, where my boundaries are. So maintaining healthy professional and personal life boundaries is also important. Being a therapist, you also need space to vent out. So that's also important.
Wow, yeah, truly cool. And what would you recommend to the students who wants to study psychology? What is your recommends for them in the future?
I would say it's a great field to step into. And if you're confused, it's okay which major to select, because through the course, maybe you would understand where your interest lies. And with knowledge and with practice, I think all of you would do great. So good luck.
Yes, awesome. I think that would be really cool background for their studying and also in the university in the bachelor's degree. And yeah, that was the last question of our podcast. I am so excited for that. I really appreciate that for Simrans for to be in our guest in our expert podcast. I really say thank you for you, Simran, for
Thank you
participating
for
in our
having me.
podcast. Yes, if you have any questions, you can tell me about myself too.
No, I am really glad that I was here, and I really appreciate your time and effort. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for you too. Thank you. See you, Simran. See you in the
Thank
next
you.
podcasts. I'm so happy that I will invite you to the next podcasts. Okay, bye.
Bye.